It is time for another compilation of genital facts. These are facts gathered from my videos where I do an arcade challenge and I run out of things to say, so I talk about genitals. Yes, so here's something educational for you people who have never seen these before, who would like to catch up on your, I don't know, facts about a dog's ballsack? I don't know. Good. Anyway, because I passed 600 subscribers, here's another video. I'm not going to be doing this for 650, by the way, because it's not far away and it's coming quicker than I thought it would. So, see you at 700? Yay! I've still got loads of facts about willies to say. Aren't you lucky? Time for the genital fact of the week. And because I haven't got a lot of time to think about it, because this game annoyed me because of how hard it was, I decided to do it about humans. Did you know that just over 50% of all humans have a penis? Yes. The average size is 5.5 inches. Yes. That's awfully big, isn't it? Mine looks like an acorn in a nest. Or a Tic Tac in a barber's bin. Yeah. So that's the genital fact of the week. Now, what can I talk about to do with animals, to do with this colour? Well, it's the colour of famous 70s puppet. Was it a puppet, really? It was just more of like a toy, wasn't it? They just sat down. Oh, no, it was a puppet. His mouth did move. Bagpuss. So today's genital fact of the week is about the horrors of cat sexual intercourse. So cats, and this will probably be known to you if you're a cat owner, or if you're a female cat. If you're a female cat, my sympathies lie very much with you, especially as, you know, you could be doing other stuff than watching a middle-aged man talking about a very early 80s driving game. But my sympathies also lie with you in the fact that you go through a bit of a torrid time with your sexual intercourse. You see, it's torture for you poor lady cats, because the male cats, as I'm sure everyone is aware, have a barbed shaft designed to scrape off rival tomcat semen, which is as romantic as it sounds. I mean, there's not a lot of romance in these tales I come up with, is there? So lady cats generally hate the experience, and that noise you hear at night might not be the cats fighting, it might be them going at it, because lady cats will do what they can to not have sex with male cats, because, you know, barbed penis, that's not going to be a fun time for your tuna tunnel. And it's an experience they hate generally, more than your wife, weirdly. The male will essentially bite the female cat's neck, the back of her neck, to prevent her from struggling. You know, like they do with like puppies, obviously have that when they're picked up by their mums, and kittens as well. And so it means she can't struggle away. This isn't exactly first dates, is it? Stuff. And this isn't unique to your tabby either, unfortunately, because it's a piece of equipment that can be found in the metaphorical pants of big cats like lions, tigers and jaguars too, so that even they don't get an easy time of it. And you think about the amount of work that your lady lioness does compared to the lazy bastard with the long hair, his Michael Bolton haircut, lying under that tree over there, and then she has to put up with a Captain Rat there. And obviously, I think you probably know this already, but lions famously kill off cubs so that the lady lioness can get all horny again and want some more, which I don't think that's a pulling technique that humans should try, but it's up to you, except it isn't, because the law will frown very strongly upon you, as will the lady if you kill her children to make love to her. You'll have to buy her more than flowers to make up for that, I suspect. And that is the end of the genital fact of the week, which was this week about the humble house cat, and lions, and tigers, and jaguars, and barbed penises. Probably time to get to the genital fact of the week. And this week we're taking on cryptology theme. It's cryptology, isn't it? Talking about fake monsters. There's a creature called the Popabowa. And the Popabowa, which is Swahili for batwing, is a demon with a very lusty nature. He is a shapeshifter, and he can take the form of any human or animal, but typically is represented, if you look at the thumbnail, you'll see him. He is a one-eyed, first credit down, one-eyed sort of bat creature that looks a bit sallow and a bit poorly, but not a handsome chap in his native form. I just inhaled my own snot, and that's brilliant. He prefers to visit homes in Zanzibar. It's Zanzibar in Tanzania, where he spends most of his demonic days. And he's quite a new demon. People have only been sort of talking about him for the last 40 years. But what he does is he prefers... So basically what he does is he can go into your household, and his favourite and most famous assault being that he'll, do you up your wrong. And once the Popabowa has had his way, the victim is then urged to tell others that they've been sexually assaulted by him. Else, he says, he will return night after night and inflict further damage upon the Hershey Highway. Yes, I'm afraid it's not a romantic one, Christy. I'm so sorry. It is another rapey one. Animals and monsters, terrible. The most recent Popabowa panic in Zanzibar was as recent as 2007, when men and women stayed awake huddled around an open fire with wary friends and family. It's worth noting that the Popabowa becomes enraged if his existence is denied. I'm very much the same. This is going to be... this genital fact is going to be about gophers, as you may remember. In the hit comedy film Caddyshack, Bill Murray had trouble with a gopher, indeed trying to blow it up with dynamite towards the end of the movie and blowing up the golf course. But yes, this is going to be about gophers, and let's talk about gophers now. Gophers are pregnant for a very short period. The northern pocket gopher and the plains pocket gopher are generally pregnant for just 20 days, sometimes even less, up to 18 days. They reach sexual maturity, gophers, at about 1 year of age, but then if you only live for 3 years, you've got to be in a bit of a hurry. And generally they give birth to 3 to 4 young per litter. Males lack a protruding penis, don't we all? And their testicles are generally internal. That would be the cold weather. The penis will appear with the aid of a baculum, a bone in its shaft. I get that sometimes when watching certain adult movies. Generally, the male and the female of the species don't get on, avoiding each other and fighting like kids who secretly fancy each other. Once February and March hit, that's when the male's balls get inflamed with sexual lust, and they'll go out of their burrows with amorous thoughts. Maybe a bunch of flowers. Probably not. But you know what? There is a certain amount of romance to male gophers. I'm sure Christian will be very pleased to hear this. Male Camas pocket gophers are monogamous, sticking with one female until she dies or leaves him for Clive, the security guard, who she insisted was just a friend at work. They spent a lot of time together, they come out late, at first he thought nothing of it, this poor gopher, and then he found a pack of condoms in a purse. He wasn't happy about it. Clive denied anything was going on, but he caught him in the act, and he found spunk in her hair. But yes, that is the end of the genital facts. So let's draw a veil over that. Bloody Clive stealing the gopher's wife. Aura at the bottom. Oh, wait! It's time for the genital fact of the week, because look, we've got a tiger on the screen. And then just play the music. Ready? There we go. See, I was right. The tiger's gone already, but the genital fact is yet to come. So, yes, so tigers, they usually begin their courtship by circling each other and vocalising. Oh, I don't know what they vocalise. Maybe the old body form advert. Whoa, body form for tigers who are suffering from periods. But yeah, they do this, and then courtship will then happen over 4 days, where the tigers will make love. I don't know if they make love. The tigers will mate from 200 to 250 times. I don't think I've made... Yeah. Have I even done that in my life? As frequently as 5 to 7 minutes. Which is good innings, isn't it? That 7 minutes. It's good recharging time, though, that. Congratulations. I don't know if they work with solar panels. Female tigers, well, to protect their young from males who would kill their cubs to get their end away, because you can't have one of these animal genital facts without the animals being total arseholes, will go and mate with males, but there's no chances of them ovulating, which is what obviously, unlike humans, the males are after. They want... But I don't know, I like this guy, by the way. He looked like sort of Gary Glitter crossed with Christopher Lloyd. Don't trust him. So there's no chances of the female tiger ovulating, and this is called false mating. So the male thinks he's gone and sown his oats, when his oats are just falling into an empty bowl. If you're someone that suffers from Percy not looking at the ceiling, it is advised by certain Chinese doctors to try dried tiger penis wine. A penis with testicles attached is left to soak in French cognac for many weeks. Then, as it matures, the liquor is taken in small sips every night. Presumably because it probably tastes like a council estate blowjob. Yes, so there, yeah, that's the genital fact done. Let's talk about this game and how I don't really like it. Female fleas, they have to eat before they lay eggs, so it's perfectly a romantic and expected thing to do. You buy the lady a meal of a Labrador's back, and she will, if she's enamoured with you, open her little flea legs. So I started to look up facts about flea genitals. I got exceptionally bored. Allow me to read a wonderful little excerpt, the very first sentence of the scientific paper called The Structure of the Reproductive Organs of the European Rabbit Flea by a chap called A.R. Mead, and it was published in the late 1950s. It begins with this incredible opener. Although the structure of the external genitalia of fleas has received much attention, very little has been written about the internal reproductive organs. I mean, he's quite right. I mean, you can't go anywhere without hearing about the skeletal structure of the male flea, testicles and penis, or whatever the equivalent is. I should have been paying more attention. Of the European rabbit flea. It's everywhere. Wherever you go, there's always someone talking about the external structure of a male flea's genitals. Like, it's everywhere. TikTok, It's everywhere, like fuel shortages. That's how to date this video. When you come back, I've seen people been looking at old 20p challenges. So this is when the fuel shortage happened. Right, I better hurry up because I'm about to go on my last level, aren't I? Oh no, I've got 2 levels. Dog's back. Anyway, yes, so it got really wordy, so I gave up with it. If you're wondering about fleas, and obviously they reproduce quite heavily, if you're wondering how many they can reproduce, well, fleas can reproduce at the rate of 40 to 50 per day for around 50 days, meaning a she flea can produce 2,000 offspring. That's a lot in a lifetime. That's probably 6 more than Boris Johnson's going to finish on. Not that he'll admit it. But yeah, here. So yeah, again, that's the end of the genital facts, I think. Yeah. So yeah, animal genitals. Let's do the hammerhead shark. A female hammerhead shark in 2007 was found by Belfast scientists studying in Nebraska to have given birth without mating with a male shark. It was found that the DNA of the I've lost my first credit there. I am paying sort of attention to the game, I swear. It was found that the baby shark had no parental. Well, it had some parental DNA, but only half of it. It had no paternal DNA, making it the shark version of Jesus. Well, I'm just saying that. I'd like to see a Jesus version of Thompson's gazelle, a blind cave salamander, a fire ant, an octopus, and what other animal? A tapir. Imagine a Jesus tapir with that ridiculous nose. Fantastic. So yeah. And if you want to know about shark penises, and who doesn't, let's talk about the clasper. So the clasper is a modified pelvic fin that basically is its schlong. And unlike us humans, me, you, your brother, your mother, other people, as they get older, the clasper gets deposits of calcium in it, which makes it firmer the older it gets. Whereas you and I would have to eventually resort to eating various blue pills. The shark doesn't have to do that, or at least the hammerhead shark doesn't. Yeah, it's obvious why I chose hammerhead shark, isn't it? By now, yeah, good. There's no animals in the game but the hammerhead shark. So yeah, my last penile fact before I depart this mortal coil is that they actually do have sex missionary, which you wouldn't think would be a particularly shark thing, given how edgy they are. You'd think, they'd smoke a cigarette underwater somehow, and then get all, I don't know, bitey and rough or something, like slap the lady sharks' butts with their fins, and yeah, but they don't. They do it missionary, and everyone turns the lights off afterwards, and that's game over, isn't it? But yeah, I don't last very much longer, so I better get to the genital facts, really, because that's why you're here. Apart from to watch the game, I don't really know if you do come for the genital facts, but I'm sticking to them anyway. So yes, let us think about what we can do this week, and I think we should do facts about contraception, condom facts, yes. So let's do 10 quick facts about condoms. In the 18th century, condoms were only really used by the elites, and they were reused because they were very expensive. Prostitutes who needed them quite a lot, I would imagine, would have to save up 3 months' worth of wages to get a simple sheath. And you wouldn't want to be the 15th person who used it that week, would you? Anyway, fact number 2, 54% of British men get embarrassed buying condoms, and 57% of British ladies do, because you know what? Men are a bit proud of it, aren't they? as they should be. I mean, if like I get it so infrequently that I would probably hire a trumpeter to welcome me into my local pharmacy, of which I used to work in, so that would be even more embarrassing, but I'd also be proud. Anyway, on to fact number 3. Condoms, as variants or at least variants of, were utilised as early as the 11th century BC. Wow, is that 11,000? 11,000 BC. Probably best not to think what was used as a condom. I would imagine it would be some poor animal's guts. They certainly were using guts in the 16th century and beyond. The average condom can hold a gallon of liquid. Don't worry, I don't need to use a gallon's worth of room for mine. Probably just like the tear of an ant or something. A prophylactic was made in China that measured 80 metres by 100 metres. Again, not much use for that for me. Even King Kong probably wouldn't need it. Being a gorilla, gorillas have 3-inch penises. Am I using facts up that I can then use at a later point? Probably. Fact number 5, a prophylactic... Oh, no, I've done that one. This is all very professionally done this week. Number 6, the average penis will ejaculate 14 gallons of semen in a lifetime, most of which not in a condom, but onto a tissue, you dirty git. Fact number 7, condoms will last for 4 years in your drawer. Don't use a condom you've had in your wallet for that long. So yeah, ignore the expiry date on it if you've had it in your pocket, because you're likely either get an itch or a baby. Do not either double bag condoms, because that actually doesn't double your chances of not having a child or an itch, but it in fact will double your chances of the condom breaking. It's a terrible idea. Other failed contraceptive attempts that work less well: drinking mercury, wearing weasel balls, drinking cola through the vaggie hole, slotting up your alligator... sloshing up a load of alligator turds up your lady's hairy maw. Don't do that either. And finally, 10, large condoms are mostly no larger at all and are designed to fit penis sizes of 5.13 inches and up. It's just marketing, like Oreos. That is the end of my game, as you can see, and that's the end of the genital facts. Right. So what do we do now? We could always talk about genitals. And man, this was a tough one to think about how to do a genital fact about. I thought contra was difficult last week. So I've decided to go along with the title. Obviously, block holes. What creates holes? Moles. Now, when you look up genital facts on moles, obviously a lot of things that come up are people that have found moles on their genitals. Gave me pause for thought for a minute. Do I have cancer? I thought to myself. No, there's no moles on my penis, although Google may think I do now have some worries about cancer on my genitals. I will get a few targeted ads, probably for Bupa and things like that, but rest assured, Bupa, my genitals are mole free. There's no worry of cancer in my testicles or on my penis currently. Thank you very much. I've mentioned it more, so automatically I'm more likely to now get them. Anyway, moles. Yes, so male moles will enlarge their tunnel in a bid to find more lady moles. So when I say this, they're not building like mansions or anything. They're just sort of digging around and hoping that they bump into a lady mole. I don't know if lady moles are particularly impressed with space. There's the first continue gone, by the way. They might be, you know. The lady mole might like a nice stately home with a room to put her worms and things, but no. But then, in the same turn of phrase, once the male and lady moles have finished mating, what they will do is they will create a special breeding chamber. When I say breeding chamber, they've already done the breeding. You know, they did that in the hallway outside because they couldn't wait, these moles. What it is it's basically a creche. When they make the special chamber, it's obviously for the babies to go in. It's like when you, as an adult, have to get rid of that room that had all your toys in it, like He-Man figures, and they're all lined up in little glass cabinets or whatever, and your Transformers, some of them transform, some of them not. You have to get rid of that, obviously, if you're going to have a baby. And you have to sort of paint it that kind of a pale yellow colour, because you don't know what gender they're going to be. And you have to put like pictures of like twee-looking rabbits and deer on the wall, or Thomas the Tank Engine if you're feeling particularly brave and want to commit to a boy like Thomas the Tank Engine. I never liked Thomas the Tank Engine. Man, am I waffling. But yes, and then they can give birth to 3 to 4 hairless mole babies at a time. The penis of a broad-footed mole lies deep within itself until it needs it, which is like you or I claiming it's a little bit cold. Some female moles develop such high testosterone that they become very strong and aggressive and have evolved very male-like genitalia with an enlarged clitoris, which, probably might not be initially attractive, but male moles seem to like it. And as they get closer to mating season, the female moles then sort of lose a bit of that testosterone. Things get a little less swollen down there. The genitals reconfigure almost into a more ladylike shape, and then the male can whack his load up the lady mole's flue, and then we can carry on having wonderful conversations with moles that have invaded in the garden. Tell them to get out, stop building big holes so you can create sex palaces for your lady mole friends, you dickheads. And that's pretty much the end of my mole talk. So now you're you're partly educated about the sexual habits of moles. Right, what now? Well, I could do the animal genital fact, so let's do that. Yeah, why not? So this week, being a Halloween themed episode, I've decided to go for bats. Obviously Lilith here, although I think she's supposed to be a demon rather than like a vampire bat or anything. She's got quite batty wings, hasn't she? So let's talk about them. So Ouroboros bats, they have an enlarged larynx and nasal cavity, and they line up in trees along the riverbank and try to woo passing females by honking at them. It's something I've tried constantly in the local Wetherspoons, and more times out of 10 it works. No, it doesn't. Male sackwing bats, on the other hand, hover in front of females to waft enticing pheromones and demonstrate their flying prowess. That's like one of them pilots who just bought some CK1. For some species, mating takes place upside down, whereas other species mate on cave walls or in rock crevices. That's the equivalent of you or I fingering a girl in a bus stop. The male takes hold of the female from behind and inserts his penis into the vagina. This encounter can be brief or long and noisy, just like us. Researchers have also found that female short-nosed fruit bats perform oral sex on their mates to prolong the act. Male Indian flying foxes do the same thing to females. I think the female short-nosed fruit bat and the male Indian flying fox should get together. I think they're more respectful, I think, of their partner's needs. And I think that the male short-nosed fruit bats and the female Indian flying foxes need to have a bloody good look at themselves in the mirror. So yeah, that's my facts about bat sex. I didn't actually talk a lot about penises in there, did I? See if I can find a fact about their genitals. No, we'll just talk about the intercourse today, I think. But as a bonus, I'm going to go to Lilith's page and potentially talk about what a succubus is. So it's generally said that succubus race absorbs the spirit of the opposite sex and uses it as their energy source. However, succubi that live in the Ainsland family, which I presume is Lilith's and Morrigan's family, are slightly different. They create a special secretion liquid in their body when they are physically or mentally stimulated. They use this liquid to maintain life. I don't think that's particularly special to the Ainsland family. I must say that when I'm physically stimulated, I also produce a special secretion liquid, as do, I would imagine, most other people in this channel, even Anthony Walker. If one of these were to be trapped in a secluded area, she would die within 2 days due to a lack of stimulus. That's all like lockdown then, isn't it? Let's talk about, and if you've not been to the channel before, this is going to take a surprising turn. Now, I've already done animal genital facts this week in the video where I was playing the wrong game. Pure chaos generally my week. But you know what, I'm going to give you some bonus facts, and I'm going to, because I think there's going to be animals that I don't think we'll ever cover, because I don't think there's many games with particular animals in, I'm just going to have a look at a page on the internet that covers weird facts about animal sexual intercourse. So let's talk about initially the male rhesus macaque monkey. Now, the male rhesus macaque monkey will pay to see female rhesus macaques' bottoms, and that surprises me. I didn't know there were strip clubs in the jungle, and I'm not sure what mode of currency they pay. Is it nuts or whatever? Do they stuff it down the bras of the female rhesus macaque's bottoms? Is there a rhesus macaque monkey that looks like Nicki Minaj and has got a huge bottom that she twerks? What kind of music do they play? Do they play Girls, Girls, Girls by Motley Crue like they do in strip clubs in LA? There's so many questions. Nearly all bonobos are bisexual, and 75% of bonobo sex is not for reproduction. I mean, that much is obvious. At least 50% of it wasn't going to be, was there? You know, and if they are, they're doing it the wrong way. Let's have a look, see if there's any more facts. A male damselfly's tiny penis contains an even tinier spoon. Has this writer got it in for damselflies or something? To scoop out leftover sperm from other males in the female's vagina. Very romantic, that, isn't it? In one species of elephant shrew, the end of the penis is spoon-shaped and contains a row of spines. I mean, that sounds like something like a weapon in Mad Max. But yeah, don't put that on your Tinder page there, elephant shrew. Elephant shrews are also the only mammals, apart from primates and bats, that menstruate. Now, the worst part of that sentence to me is if you're a regular spelunker and bats menstruating above you, I don't know, I'd find a new hobby. I mean, it's dangerous enough to go spelunking. That's going in caves, if you're not aware. The fact that a bat might dislodge its period lining onto your head as you're walking past, while it's asleep, to be fair, I'd find that unsettling. Look, here I am fighting myself. Something I do regularly in real life. Yeah. Female pandas. Well, no, we can't cover pandas. I'm sure they're going to come up at some point, and everyone knows about the sex life of pandas. I don't get none. Right, sharks, no. Barnacles. Let's talk about barnacles, shall we? Male barnacles have one of the longest penises relative to their size of any animal, up to 8 times their body length. There's no need to boast about it, frankly, barnacles. Water conditions dictate how a barnacle's penis develops. In calm water, it will grow long and flexible. In rougher seas, they grow a shorter, thicker one. I know that only too well. I live regularly in the harshest, roughest sea. That's my excuse anyway. If a barnacle's penis isn't long enough, it can do something known as sperm casting, in which it sends sperm out to sea for another barnacle to pick up. Some sponges, mollusks and corals sperm cast too. Now, I'm sure if internet porn was around when Nightmare, the television show, was on, someone would have had
the porn version of Traegard spell casting or sperm casting. I'm pretty sure of that. I don't know what you call a porn version of Nightmare. Night molest? I don't know. But yeah, you can just imagine it now, can't you? Spell casting Gizzinface. The sperm of deer mice swim in teams of up to 35. That's a low sperm count there, deer mouse. But 7 is the optimal number of deer mice sperm to have in a team to reach the egg the fastest. So, sperm mice there. Sperm mice? Deer mice. Basically, the sperm works like the Avengers and the eggs Thanos. During sex, flies create a buzz that can attract predatory bats. I mean, is that... I presume they don't mean to attract the predatory bats, or the predatory bats sexy bats? The female lice of the genus Neutrolga have a penis and can have sex for up to 70 hours. Someone's going to get sore there. Can't do squids. We'll no doubt cover squids at some point. The Russian Space Agency has conducted experiments in space to see how microgravity affects sex for geckos. Really important stuff there, Russia. Thanks very much for undermining our democracy and for putting sexy geckos in space. Yes. No, there's a whole bit on snakes and bees. They are definitely coming up soon. Naked mole rats have misshapen sperm with abnormal heads. I mean, they look like penises already, naked mole rats. Like, you know, like a slack penis and a naked mole rat. Never seen in the same place, like Superman and Clark Kent. Male anglerfish, no, we'll probably do gradius at some point. Velvet worms, yes, velvet worms have their genitalia on their head. Dickhead. Elephants, no. We'll do them at some point, I'm sure of it. Dolphins, we've covered them already. Tapirs have a prehensile penis, so they can grip stuff. So, you know, if you've got your hands full, you're out shopping with a tapir. Tapir, not known for having many limbs. If you can't see your shopping bag, or the shopping bag's underneath, clean that shopping bag. What else have we got? Around seahorses, they'll come up in a game potentially, but I'm going to do it anyway. Around a third of seahorse sex encounters are same sex. I mean, they're pretty good looking, aren't they, seahorses? They essentially look like horses, which, you know, majestic looking animals. Yeah, I think if I was a seahorse, to be fair, I think I'd just with whoever. Echidnas, no, there's that Sonic beat 'em up. That is it. That is it for your animal genital bonus facts this week. I hope you've learnt something. You learnt about the weird chainsaw penis of some sort of small mammal there. I can't even remember what it was, but that was, I'm sure, very informative for you, as it was for me. I'm sure David Attenborough will be proud to watch this channel. Yeah, so good.